Alright, we're back with a sequel, and in only like 4 days. That's gotta be a record for me. So, since I already did a video like this on my 2020 album of the year, The Weeknd's After Hours, I figure we go back a year and rank every song on my album of the year for 2019, Tyler the Creator's Igor. And hopefully this video doesn't get banned in Japan, like the last one.
Exactly what you run from, you end up chasing.
Yeah, so this shouldn't be much of a surprise. It's essentially a 15-second interlude. Side note, the track attached to this on physical versions of the album, called Boyfriend, is actually pretty good. Moving on. Alright, now that we're getting into the actual songs, for me, this track is just a little bit too subdued, if that makes sense. With nearly all the songs on Igor, the production is rich, vibrant, and beautiful, but with this one, it just feels a little bit less extravagant. Don't get me wrong, the muffled sound does make sense within the album's narrative, but I still just prefer most of the other beats on here. Honestly, the only reason I have this so low is because I just don't really like the singing in the beginning. Now, don't get me wrong, I really do like a lot of the high-pitched vocals on Igor, but for some reason, I'm just not really a fan here. It reminds me of the part in Glitter, and I've never really liked that part. Other than that, great production and super relatable lyrics. I love this track for the purpose that it serves in the album. As soon as you hear that first synth, you're immediately thrown into the world of Igor. And it works perfectly as an intro to the album, getting the listener familiar with the album's sound, but not immediately jumping into the story too quickly. But since it's essentially just a musical intro skit, I could never rank it higher than some of the better tracks on here. Okay, so before anybody picks up their pitchforks, I do really like this song. The production is great, the vocals are kind of silly but come off as very heartfelt, and the Playboy Cardi feature is a great meme. But this song unfortunately suffers from overplaying. The same thing happens with nearly every other album's biggest song, but it's inevitable at this point. So, overall, if the song wasn't overplayed, it would definitely be a lot higher than it is now.
Dracula, Dracula, Dracula. Suck me first, I might get back at you.
I'm not gonna lie here, pretty much all the tracks beyond this point are basically in a tie for first. Like, it genuinely took me a good 30 minutes to come up with my final list. But about this track, the first and second verses are sick, and then when the beat drops again after Slow Tie's part with the third verse, that's also sick, and the ending is stunning. Like, there's nothing I can find in this track that I don't like, but I think that just goes to show how great the songs on Igor are, given this is at 7th. Also, this line, just, yes.
My love's gone.
I swear it gets harder and harder to justify each spot on here. Like, I know I've said this before, but again, I can't find anything that I don't like about this song. The hook is beautiful, and the lyrics in the third verse especially are very clever, and not to repeat myself, but the production is fantastic. I will say, though, that I do prefer Gone Gone over Thank You, since I think Thank You should have gone on a little longer. Other than that, great stuff.
She's gonna be dead. I just gotta make it work. We can finally be together.
It's the third and fourth verse that do it for me on this one. Like, the first half of the song is pretty cool, but as it continues, it just slaps harder and harder as more elements are added to the beat. The whole track is incredibly hard, and the lyrics kind of remind me of a more tame version of something off Bastard or Goblin, with Tyler talking about wanting to kill his love interest ex with his new magic wand. Probably a gun. Overall, my favorite banger on the album, but I slightly prefer the slower and more introspective tracks. Coming right after New Magic Wand is a track that's essentially its polar opposite. Whereas New Magic Wand is aggressive in terms of the beat and lyrics, A Boy Is a Gun shows Tyler being much more introspective. But the main reason I love this song is just because of how much Kanye influence it has. From some of the one-liners to the soul sample in the beat, which, if you didn't know, is from the same song that's sampled on Kanye's Bound 2, the whole track is just super yay. And the refrain of Don't Shoot Me Down throughout the track is great. Also, I just wanted to mention here that Bound 2 is the best song on Yeezus, and if you say otherwise, you're wrong. Moving on.
I think I'm falling in love.
First of all, starting a song with
4, 4, 4, 4.
is brilliant, and nothing anyone says will change my mind. Hi everyone, so this is me from the future editing this video, and I just looked at the lyrics to this song and I realized he's saying 4 at the beginning of the track, and not fuck. I still think this is a good track, obviously, but I'm just a little bit disappointed now. I really thought he said fuck in the beginning. But, back to the video. But that's not the only thing I love about this track, obviously. The beat has a big 80s influence, and if you couldn't tell already, I'm a pretty big fan of 80s music, so the moment the beat starts, I'm hooked. Another thing I love is how relatable the lyrics are. The whole track is about all the wild thoughts and emotions that come with falling in love, and even though it is a mostly positive experience, there are still some negative side effects of lovesickness. But my main reason for ranking this track so high is simply because it's just so damn replayable. Like, I don't know what it is, but I can play this song all the time and still not get bored of it. So, I have to give it credit in that aspect.
I'm your puppet. You control me.
As soon as you hear
Ayo.
before the track starts, you know it's going to be something great. Firstly, the first verse on this song is one of the darkest and best moments on the album in my opinion, talking about how Tyler feels completely controlled by his love for this person, constantly trying to satisfy their needs in the hope that they feel the same love back. It's another very relatable feeling portrayed on the album. Also, this song is just so smooth. Every element of the beat, from the drum roll before the chorus to the backing vocals, is so cinematic and soulful. He also got Kanye on the back end, which is an automatic win, and the instrumental change at the end is amazing. But my only true problem with this track, honestly, is that I overplayed the hell out of it when it came out, and it lost a little bit of its spark to me. But I can't deny that it's still phenomenal. So I know I said earlier on that the top 7 songs on my list were basically in a tie for first, but this is definitely my top spot. I mean, there are so many things to love about this song. For one, I think the track's instrumental is genuinely a masterpiece. It's so layered and soulful and rich and beautiful, and it works perfectly as the gargantuan closer of the album. And that final scream at the end of the track, followed by that stunning electric guitar riff, works way too well, and is probably my favorite moment on the entire album. But even though the instrumental is my favorite part of the song, everything else about it is still amazing. Even though the lyrics are very simple, being mostly composed of the question, are we still friends? It's still an extremely relatable and important message within the story of Igor. The whole album up until this point has dealt with Tyler finding a love interest, losing that person, and then trying to convince himself that it's good for him, and then finally ending with the titular question, are we still friends? An all too relatable moment for most people. I couldn't think of a better song to end an album as great as Igor than my top spot on Igor, Are We Still Friends? Okay, another album ranking video down. And since I've uploaded 2 of them now, I've officially become a music review channel, and I will never do another gaming video ever again. I'm not gonna lie, I already did have this video planned when I made the After Hours ranking video, but after this I'll probably do another game review, so you guys can look forward to that. Also, I forgot to mention this before, but these rankings are all just my opinion, and you are allowed to disagree. In fact, I encourage it. But if you enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and maybe go watch the other video I made if you like me ranking songs off of albums. That's about it. See you in 3 months.
Don't shoot me.